Last October, I made the decision to quit my 9-to-5 job and start pursuing my own business. I'm only 26 years old. And the reason because I decided to do this wasn't because I wanted to travel, figure myself out. I knew I wanted to have my own business when I was 20 years old. My name is Tilden Brighton, and I am the founder and influencer behind the life and style blog To Be Bright. What began as an online resume I started in college my senior year has allowed me to have a full-time job already by this age. But that's not what I'm here to talk to you about today. I'm actually here to talk to you about the importance of putting your passion, whatever it may be, online now and using the time you have to build it to secure your success in the future. So, as I said, I started my blog as an online resume, digital portfolio, and the reason I started it was because I wanted to have some sort of advantage when I started applying for jobs. I thought if I posted pictures of how I looked, how I dressed, what I was interested in, anything like that, that it would enhance my candidacy for getting a job in the city. What I didn't realize was that it was going to hurt me, and actually I wouldn't be taken seriously when it came to having social media experience. So imagine applying to 70 jobs and not hearing back from any of them, not one. I applied to 70 jobs. I had the expertise, I had the knowledge, I thought I had qualified, but apparently I wasn't good enough. I begged and pleaded for feedback, asking, why wasn't I considered? Is there something I can do? Is there something I can enhance my candidacy? And I did get one answer, and it kind of went along the lines of this. We think you will take this opportunity on our clock to advance yourself. We don't want to risk hiring someone who's already self-involved. Kind of a kick to my self-esteem, that's for sure. So here I was now, college graduate, applied to 70 jobs, heard back from one telling me I was a know-it-all millennial and I was better off not being hired there. All my friends were moving to the city, getting their 9-to-5 jobs, their new apartments, and I was stuck at home by myself thinking, I have no job, what am I gonna do? It was probably one of the lowest points in my life. At the same time, it also was one of the first moments where I really started to appreciate the value behind my blog. And this switch of mindset really didn't come about that naturally. I actually was reminded of something that happened a year before while I was still in college. This photo showed up in my Instagram direct feed after I entered a contest on Instagram to be invited to New York Fashion Week with Lucky Magazine. I won. I couldn't believe it. I posted a picture, and somehow they liked it and invited me. I found out I was one of 15 people invited. That means out of every single person that entered this contest, I was one of 15 people in the world that got to go. And it wasn't this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that made me feel super, important and that my blog was a success, but it was the acknowledgement that a national magazine saw my potential, saw the fact that my blog was actually going to go somewhere. So I thought then, maybe this is something I should pursue and focus on. And I'm so happy I spent that year up until when I found myself without a job after college, because now my blog had become a fallback plan, essentially something that I could start working on during this time. So I thought, oh my gosh, I have a whole summer free. I'm gonna use it. I'm probably never gonna get this time again. I'll still apply for jobs, but I have something to do. And during that whole summer, I focused on my blog. By December, I did have a 9-to-5 job Thankfully, I did get hired, and I loved that job, spent 3 years there. But I was able, after 3 years, to quit and focus on my blog full time. Now, this is a result of me building my brand so early on. I started in college. This allowed me to have some sort of fallback plans, as you will. And you're probably thinking, how would you even consider your blog as a fallback plan? Yes, I was able to monetize it, but what makes me qualified as a 26-year-old to be a CEO of any kind of brand or company, so to speak? And that's because I'm what they call a millenniepreneur. A millenniepreneur is someone in their 20s to 30s who have a very high-end position in a company or work for themselves, and they are accepted in that role. Back when I was applying to jobs, clearly my social media knowledge was a joke to half the employers. But it was a joke because they didn't realize that I already had 20 years of social media experience. The perk of being a millennial is that I grew up using a computer. And by the time I was 6, I was using a computer in first grade. I'm 26 now. That's 20 years of experience using a computer and learning as they change and develop. Now, the reason millenniepreneurs are accepted today are because of a couple things. Obviously, the digital advancements in technology. Another is because millennials are not as inclined to give up after something doesn't work out. We usually try to find a way for it to work, as opposed to our preceding generations that may not continue trying. But the third, probably most important, is because we have a different view of social responsibility. Rather than focusing on the wealth and our number count of a business, we think about what will make us last in the social eye. What is our social impact? What will we be remembered for? And ultimately, that is what drives a business's success. If you think about the startups now, Instagram even, Snapchat, half of these companies are successful today because they started their business or the whole mission behind it with a passion. They didn't care if they made a lot of money. They didn't care if they didn't do well at all. They still stuck it out when things were really, really bleak. And look at them now. They're billion-dollar companies. The reason they're so successful is because they care more about what they're putting out there and the purpose behind what they're doing. So if you think about that as a blogger, how to make my business successful would be, and build it, would be to start posting with passion. So that's what I started doing. I started building my digital presence as a blogger by posting with passion. Think about the people you guys follow on Instagram or brands. There's probably a reason you like following them. Maybe it's the pictures, maybe it's the captions. But ultimately, the real reason you follow the accounts that you do is because you feel like you have some kind of mutual passion or understanding with said person or brand. You guys have something in common. That's huge, because passion behind posted social media posts that have an impact like that are the ones that are remembered. And like I've said, businesses that post or their focus on what they will be remembered for are the ones that are being successful. And ultimately, the brands that post with intention and want to be remembered are the ones that are remembered. So here's a good example of someone who, I guess what I would say, someone who started off doing this because she really loved what she was doing. But she was a little nervous that she wasn't going to do well, that she didn't have a big number count. She didn't have, a giant following, but she really liked posting about outfits and her life experiences in the city as a 20-year-old. Because I started posting about things like that, I found a tribe of people that also shared that passion with me. that really enjoyed what I was putting out there, found me as a resource of sorts. And that tribe of people built my foundation that allowed me, at the age of 26, to be able to say, I can do this full time. Because even if I don't have 100,000 followers, but I have a big group of people that really care about what I'm putting out there. And that tribe of people, because we all share a mutual passion, are supporting me. And that is what's making my blog successful enough for me to be able to stand up here and be my own boss. And I look at these pictures and I think, the girl on the right, and by the way, I did not plan the outfits to be exactly the same. I literally just found this. The girl on the right is still a little apprehensive of who she is. She doesn't really know what her purpose is yet. Then you fast forward a year, and you see somebody who's the happiest version of herself, knows her purpose, posts with passion, found her tribe of people, and really just wakes up every day feeling like she just won the lottery. Because what's better than having your business as something that you're so passionate about? And so what I want to leave here saying is that never doubt that your passion isn't important enough to pursue, even if 70 people tell you otherwise, because you never know where you might end up a year later. Thank you.